Nothing but faithful, nothing but kind, nothing but good all of my life. 'Cause I've seen your heart, that's just the God you are. Nothing but patience, nothing but grace, nothing but mercy all of my days. 'Cause I've seen your heart, and that's just the God you are. Nothing but faithful, nothing but kind, nothing but good all of my life. And I've seen your heart, and that's just the God you are. Nothing but patience, nothing but grace, nothing but mercy all of my days. 'Cause I've seen your heart, and that's just the God you are. That's just the God you are. I've witnessed your faithfulness. I've seen you breathe life within. So I'll pour out my praise again. You're worthy of all of it. Your promises never fail. I've got stories I live to tell. So I'll pour out my praise again. You're worthy, God, you're worthy of You're worthy of all of it. Strong and I've witnessed it. You're constant, I've witnessed it. And I'm confident I'll see it again and again. You love it, I've witnessed it. How you love us. You heal and I've witnessed it. You save and I've witnessed it. And I'm confident I'll see it again and again. You're good and I've witnessed it. Yes, you are. You're strong and I've witnessed it. You're constant, I've witnessed it. And I'm confident that one, I'll see it again and again. You love and I've witnessed it. And I'm confident I'll see it again and again. I've witnessed your faithfulness. I've seen you breathe life within. So I'll pour out my praise again. You're worthy of all of it. Your promises never fail. Yes, Lord, that's our heartbeat today, that we would be a people who bear witness to your kindness, your mercy, your grace. Lord, have your way among us today as we lean in to the special plans today of packing meals and blessing those who need it. We love you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Welcome to those of you who are joining us online. The last several weeks, we've been in our Be Rich campaign, Give, Serve, Love. And for those of you who may be a guest or maybe you're new to Northwestern Church of God, for the last 8 years around this time, we encourage our people to partner with local, national, and international ministries who we've kind of presented and have vetted and feel like they're doing some really significant work. And instead of recreating the wheel, we want to partner with them. Some of that requires sweat equity, where we actually go and physically serve. Some of it is more financial. And so what we've asked of you as a congregation over the last several weeks is to pray about what God would lay on your heart to give above and beyond your tithe. And all of the money that you give towards Be Rich and towards our partners, we promise to you as a church we're going to give it away. And so if you have not given, I want to remind you that you can do so today and next week, and then that'll be, we'll conclude our Be Rich. You can do that online. You can do that by making a check and dropping it in the boxes at the back as you go. just designate it Be Rich, so we know that that money is all supposed to leave and go to that. You can also give on the giving kiosks in the lobbies through credit card if you want, debit card. Feel free to do that as well. So just want to remind you that October 10th, we'll do the big reveal. We'll talk about how much we generated, and then we'll be presenting those to the different partners. So I just want to let you know that. In the past, you know that we've had some of our guests here. We've done a lot of it through video this year. But here in the flesh, and most of you know this name and face because he's been here before, is my good friend Brad Johnson. But for those of you who are new to North Webster Church of God or joining online, I'm going to just kick it over to Brad, let him kind of introduce himself. And I'm going to let you tell a little bit about, what is the ministry of Mission of Hope. And then we'll just do a little question and answer from there. How's that?
Sounds good.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Awesome. Well, it is good to be back with you all again. A lot of familiar faces. And my wife, when we got in, she said it feels like we're home. So it's just good to be here. So thank you for making us feel that way. And thank you for partnering with us and in years past giving to Be Rich, because it's benefited the people of Haiti and the ministry. As Jeff said, my backstory is I'm from Southern Indiana, grew up in Indiana, down in Bob Knight country. And just love being back always in my home state. I got a track scholarship to go up to a place called Huntington College at the time, Huntington University today. And on the day one, when I arrived, I met this guy. And so all that to say, after service, I have some stories. If you want to hear stories about your pastor. I was there the first day he saw Jody, and then he mustered the courage to speak to her. So I have lots of good stories. But I also met my wife there, and we both launched into ministry out of Huntington. I went first to Fort Wayne and was working at Youth for Christ there for 5 years. And while I was there, my wife and I went to Haiti on a mission trip. And at that time, there was a dad that came up, and his daughter was sick, 18-month-old girl, and she that day died in his arms in front of us. And that was the genesis of us starting Mission of Hope. And the call was simple: will you change Haiti for me? And we couldn't look away. We couldn't look away because we'd just seen a little girl starve to death in her dad's arms. So that was the beginning of Mission Hope. To fast forward to today, where we're spread throughout Haiti and the DR. We have over 300 staff in Haiti, about 30 staff in the DR, and God's doing incredible things.
By the way, I'll be glad to share some stories about Brad after the service as well. So I got my own. One of the things that I've got to be a part of when I met Brad, Brad and I went over to Haiti, I think, when you were building the first building on the campus ever.
Yeah. For
a January J term where you study overseas for a month. And so Brad and I did that. And then our senior year, Brad led some of us to Haiti back, and that's when we went with our girlfriends, Vanessa and Jody. And I think that's a little bit solidified for both of us. Like, I think I like this girl, and I hope she wants to spend the rest of her life with me. And so it's been fun to journey that together, but even more so as a buddy, to watch his leadership and Vanessa's grow this organization, which we want to share a little bit more with you today. I know some of you, if you keep up with the news, maybe you're aware of things that have happened in Haiti. I believe it wasn't 2010 that the earthquake hit.
Yep.
Did a lot of damage, and a lot of time, I don't know if they've even totally recovered even from that. Yep. But even now today, with the political instability, the assassination of a president, and just the economy of Haiti, there's just a lot of things that are struggling. And that's what I want Brad to kind of share with you, just kind of boots on the ground from his perspective. You hear a lot of things in the news, and you got to sift it and like, what do you believe, what don't you believe? And so with the ongoing crisis, economically impacted, I know it's impacted basic services like healthcare and education, and maybe even clean drinking water and even food. What's the way forward? How is Mission of Hope addressing that? And what do you think the way forward is with that? I'm going to put these two questions together. What do you do with the political instability in a third world country then?
Yeah. So let me back it up just a little bit and tell you why we are where we are as a country in Haiti. In 2018, fuel prices skyrocketed because we were getting free fuel from Venezuela. Venezuela collapses, so now they had to realize the full extent of fuel prices. That drove cost of goods way up. that created a rift. But then a few years later, 2020, the president was assassinated. When the president was assassinated, everybody, the world kind of turned their back and nobody helped Haiti. And so what happened was all of your leaders termed out. There was no elections. In that vacuum of leadership, now you had gangs start to rise up, fueled and funded by drug cartel. And the drug cartel is not sending the drugs to Haiti to stop in Haiti, but sending the drugs to Haiti to be filtered and carried to the States. So that's why you see the gang issues, is because it's been funded. What that's done is shut down not all of Haiti, but Port-au-Prince, which is the capital. In Port-au-Prince, the port of that is the port where ships come into and most of your goods and services come out of. So what's happened is since the time I was 5, I've been going to Haiti, and there's always been on the hunger map a few red spots, meaning 40% or more are at critical crisis. They don't know where their next meal is coming from. Right now, all of Haiti is red. Every person in Haiti doesn't know where their next meal is coming from because Port-au-Prince is stuck. They can't get goods out of port. So that being said, our team has been absolutely heroic. As I mentioned, we have 300 full-time staff there. They've been delivering the meals, 135,000 meals a day through this. And it's been really miraculous to watch them continue to do it. They've went around the gangs, they went through the gangs. We've chartered not helicopters, but planes, barges to get food to the most severe, hungry people. And it's because of what you all are about to do, go pack meals, that we're able to do that. But the path forward, I think we have a strong force of gangs that have big guns, and there's going to have to be a military solution to that, or someone that'll stand up. It's not a lot of people. There's 12 million people in Haiti, and there's about 2,000 to 3,000 bad guys, but they have big guns. So we need a military force that would go in there.
So it's just going to have to be force meets force.
Unfortunately,
good has to
unfortunately,
take the evil out.
Yeah. And that's there's strongholds there that are holding, lots back from happening that should be happening in the country.
You mentioned First Service. Maybe explain a little bit if you could. So, even when we were going back in college, there was political instability. There were coups that would overthrow the government. We don't think about that in the United States, but it happens in Haiti. Mm-hmm. They haven't been a democracy that long, but as you mentioned, we had to fight for our democracy. Maybe not us personally, but we've had a lot of people that have over the years, and so there is going to have to be a little bit of that from Haiti if they want a democracy. But where do you see the political climate? Is that going to change? What's your gut tell you?
So for Mission of Hope, we're about 3 things. We're about the local church. We're about educating young men and women to be great leaders for the Lord. So we educate them in a Christ-centered education. And the third is nutrition. Nutrition opens the door for us to work with churches and in the schools. So we're raising up leaders, and the path forward, I believe, and if you look at history, Haiti was the first country in the world, black country in the world, to defeat slavery and get their freedom. So that's a big historical fact. But then they had a dictator until 86. So in 87, they got their first democracy. So they're a baby country when it comes to democracy. And what we're seeing now is they're fighting for the first time for what democracy is. And our kids that have been educated, and many other kids, they're actually seeing what they want and what they don't want in a country. So as we get the next realm of elections, which there has to be security before we can have elections, but as the elections come back, I really believe that they're going to choose a different kind of leadership because they've seen so much of what they don't want now.
Yeah. Which is a multifaceted issue because, as we talked last time, right now you're seeing a great migration internally, externally of Haitians. So as Brad was sharing with me, you have the rich of the rich in Haiti, and they have means, and so they can negotiate through some of the troubles. You got the poorest of the poor. They can't afford a passport. They have no way to even get out of the country. And so then, if it's fair to say, kind of like what we would call maybe our middle class, which is not even middle class for us, but for them. So you have some of the most people, the hardest workers perhaps, and even some of the more educated are trying to get out of Haiti because they're trying to save their family. Their families are starving. So, which also springs into another question that somebody's thinking in this room or even watching online that's not going to ask, but so are they really eating dogs in Springfield, Ohio, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been asked that question. So address, what's your thoughts on Haitians coming to America legally or illegally? Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so there are a lot of Haitians in the United States, about 900,000 that have come over throughout the years. Mostly in the early years, they were in Miami or Boston. That's just where the populations were. As this current administration in the United States has allowed for temporary status for Haitians to come over, they've come over by the thousands. And what they're leaving, you need to understand that first, is they're leaving not because they want to, like they just got to get to the United States, but they're leaving because there's opportunity here for them to get work. And they all live together in houses and send as much money as they can back to Haiti. That's what they're doing. Now, the people that are coming over right now are coming over with documentation. It's a temporary status. My prayer is that they'll go home at some point. We'll see. But when you talk to the people in Springfield, the factory owners, it's the immigration laws of both Ohio and Indiana, because there's a lot of Haitians that are now in Indiana that are coming because of their ability to be able to work legally in these factories. And so they've opened that up. You do hear a lot of it. It's become a political issue. The hard part about that is Haitians, when you talk to those factory owners, are the hardest working people. They're the ones that show up on time. They want more if they could get more. And I believe it's a lack of, they'll tell us they can't find people to work that are American, so they're bringing in people. So the Haitians are hardworking people. What it's done to Haiti is the disaster that nobody's talking about, though, is it's taken the middle class. So if you go to a owner there and say, how do you find a business management degree, accounting, or teachers, all your professionals, they've all left because they've come to the States. So it's creating a problem here, and it's creating a problem at home. And so it's a problem that we're going to have to face as we go forward.
Which even for you, I mean, right? You raise up these leaders, and some of them, and you don't fault them, they got to provide for the safety and security of their family, just like you and I would want to do for our own.
Absolutely.
So then, how does the ministry continue forward? Boots on the ground. So how is that affected? I know one of Brad's things, they talked about is education, raising up leaders in the school system. How does that affect the educational system in Haiti, especially not just in Port-au-Prince, the big cities, but the rural communities, which is where Mission of Hope's campus is kind of out away. Yeah. What changes have you seen? What concerns do you have about that then?
So our lots of concerns. Our main campus where we started 26 years ago is within the gang-controlled areas. So we still have school there, but we went from 3,000 kids a day to 500 kids a day that are coming there, just because the families have left. But that migration, though, has led to the other schools that we have growing in number. So our total number is actually just about the same. We're a few thousand down right now. We have 16,000 total in our schools. We're 12 to 13,000 that we know are there, but school starts next month, so we'll know for sure kind of the migration patterns.
So it's just a change of geography, pretty much.
Yeah.
Same amount of ministry.
It is. Okay. Same ministry. Actually, I would say more because so many schools have closed.
Gotcha.
Because of this, because their teachers left, their administrators left. So it becomes a little heavier on Mission of Hope to continue to sustain that. The thing that we're leaning into now is raising up even more greater leadership development. So we have education, but now we're going, hey, there's a hole in the middle. We've got to raise up leaders that can lead quickly.
Your mission, every man, woman, child, to reach the nation of Haiti. And you've stuck to that. I know you've had other offers. A lot of people have seen the great job that Mission of Hope has done in that country. Hey, come to Africa. Do a Mission of Hope in Africa. Do a Mission of Hope in Guatemala. Do a Mission of Hope, And you've pretty much stayed, no, we're going to stay, our mission's Haiti. But that has changed a little bit in the fact that we're going to go where the Haitians go.
Yeah.
And especially with something like this, a lot of the Haitians, not only in America, but they're also, for those of you who don't know, Haiti shares an island with the Dominican Republic. So it's two nations in one island. And so now they're trying to get into the Dominican. And now there is a Mission of Hope in Dominican Republic. Can you talk about how that came about and what's going on in the DR then in your ministry?
So, as Jeff said, we've had invitations to go a lot of different places. Had one this past week, and our philosophy now is where the footsteps of Haitians go, we'll go. And here's the reason for that, is we realize that Haiti is misrepresented. If you ask most people what they think of Haiti, they'll tell you what they've seen on a news network or what they've recently heard, and they don't know the heart of the people. They don't know how hardworking and how much they've done actually for the United States. If you go to Chicago, Chicago was founded by a Haitian. If you go down to Miami, you see so much of the history there. And then in our geography here in our hemisphere, the first black republic to get their freedom. A lot of historical narratives there. And then to know the people. But what we found was not only are the Haitians in Haiti, but we've had several of our graduates go to the Dominican Republic for college or university. And we had a pastor there for years that would say, hey, would you come and do a Mission of Hope in the Dominican? And we every time would say, no, our thing is Haiti, we're called to Haiti. Until we went to the Dominican and visited and realized that there's 2 million Haitians in the Dominican Republic. And they're very much looked down upon. Now, they're used for lawn care, for restaurant workers, for the dishwashers, for construction. If you go to a construction site, it's almost all Haitians that are doing the manual labor. So they're there being productive for the society, but there wasn't good representation. So we were able to acquire land through a miracle, a donation that we got land in the middle of the Dominican Republic. And we've started to minister in the last 4 years to both Haitians there and Dominicans there. And so it's been really neat to see. Our vision is the same, one island, one mission. It's one big island. On that island sits 22 million people, and that's half of the population of the Caribbean. So we know if we can reach that island, there's a tipping point to be able to reach the entire Caribbean through that island.
And one of the focuses that I love about Mission of Hope, as Brad continues to talk about this, is the emphasis is through the local church. And so imagine that for a second. It's not about whether Haiti gets a political democracy back, which would be important, don't misunderstand that. But just think about our country too. There's a lot of fear and anxiety about the coming election, but what if the church just be the church? What if the church would make the inroads into community, and the community actually looked to the church for the leadership for tomorrow, the hope for the next day? I was really excited when you shared. I asked Brad in first service, I want you to answer this again. What is the one big thing from your chair as the founder with Vanessa, co-founders, CEO, or the head of Mission of Hope? What's the one really cool God story that you've seen this year that's only God that makes that stuff happen for us?
Yeah. Well, it's humbling because when you go back to the beginning of Mission of Hope, when we said we're going to Haiti, we had 4 suitcases and 2 dogs and a vision. Our first budget was $8,000, and it actually cost us $8,500, so we couldn't even do the math then. But to see what God's done from that point to this year, 26 years later, or actually last year, the UN, United Nations, asked Mission of Hope to represent the country of Haiti, which this is the first time they've ever asked a nonprofit to represent a country, in Rome at their summit they held. And they asked us 2 questions. They said, will you, number one, tell us how are you delivering food when no one else can in Haiti? And 2, give us hope for Haiti. Just give us hope. So our COO went over and one of our Haitian staff, and I told him, I said, guys, this is like a Paul moment to stand before the UN and address this. And the answer is simple. How are we able to deliver those meals? It starts with a Haitian staff. And that's a big thing because most people don't have Haitians that are actually doing the work there, but a Haitian staff that has the vision. But the other one, and this is the big one that the UN doesn't want to hear, but we work through the local church. So we take the food that you all pack from our warehouse and we take it and we deliver it to a pastor. And he's given us a written plan of how he's going to address the needs in his community. And then we report back. And we're able to do that thousands of times over. And that blows them away because they don't know that. So we're able to deliver 135,000 meals a day because we work through and with the local churches all throughout Haiti that God's already put there. And the second question is, and this was the fun one, give us hope. Well, the hope is in Jesus. And Jesus is the way that we have belief that it will change for tomorrow. So it was a profound moment to be able to, for our team to be able to stand, represent Haiti in Rome for the UN, and God continues to open doors like that. So it's a big moment.
It gives me pause just to hear you say it, and you look back over biblical history. God always has done that. He's always had a people. He's always had a person who would stand up against all odds in a culture maybe that didn't want to hear stuff and speak truth. And that still happens in 2023 and 2024, and that's just really, really cool. In just a minute, some of these people are going to go down to the other end. They're going to pack meals, and that's a one-time thing, and okay, until next year perhaps. But that doesn't have to be that way. I know with Mission Hope, you've got a lot of opportunity, a lot of need. Talk a little bit about how, if they want to make this a part of their ministry from afar, they could do that.
Yeah, like I said, the greatest need right now in Haiti is nutrition. We get calls. 3 weeks ago, we had a call from an orphanage in the South. They had about 40 kids. All of them were special needs kids, and they were starving to death, literally starving to death. That's something that I haven't seen since I was a little kid going to Haiti. And we had to charter a plane. We were able to charter a plane to deliver food to them in time so they didn't starve. That's our reality. That the reality is that there's moms waking up every day right now and they're praying for one simple thing: God, can my child eat today? And so, first of all, thank you for packing meals, because those meals are going to go and make a difference. But that's one day. This is ongoing. So what I'd ask is, as God put on our heart not to look away, I would ask that we don't look away from our neighbors an hour and a half off of our shores. And the first thing you can do is to help us feed just a child. It's $10 a month. That gets that child meals every day for the month, $120 for the year. And that, I call that coffee money. That's $10. That's like driving by Starbucks twice, unless you're my daughter, and then it's just one trip, because she's got like, I can't even say all she orders, but it's one thing, but it's like 10 things. Right. Anyways, that's coffee money. Over here is Feed a Family. This $48 a month, or it's $576 a year, helps us feed families. And what we do is we give them a box of food for the month. We call it take-home rations. They go to their church, they pick it up, they take it home, and it sustains them for the month. This is not a forever play for us. I want you to understand this. We're working with 6,000 farmers in Haiti. We want them to produce their own food. We have not got to a place of critical mass yet where they can produce it cheaper than it can be imported. So right now, that's why we're running these plays. Within the next 5 years, we will flip that, and it'll be bought in country. But right now, we're sending it in. So what I'd ask you to do is just pray about, would you help us feed a child? Or if God would lay it on your heart, feed a family. And that would be a huge blessing for us to be able to get the food to those folks.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Brad and his wife Vanessa will be down at the other end in between services. If you have a question, feel free to come up and ask. There's no question that's off limits. Brad's an open book, and Mission of Hope tries to be an open book too. So, but I'm going to let Brad head on down. Would you thank him for being here this morning with us? I appreciate you, brother. That said, a reminder, not only those of you are going to go down here in just a little bit to food pack, but we have our blue bags. And these, some of you saw those when you came in the lobby. Inside, it just fell out, is a shopping list. And what you do is you go and you get things in this list, put it in this bag after you purchase them, bring them back on Sunday, and we are distributing all of this to our local food pantries. And so you can still do that if you haven't done so. If you want to do it again, feel free to grab one of these and fill up a couple of them. That would be awesome. The other thing is, I want to remind you, if you have not given, to give. There are giving kiosks again out there. You can do that even after this service. You can go food pack, come back down and fill that out. If you're going to write a check again, make sure you put Be Rich in there so we know that it goes to the appropriate place. You have this Sunday and next Sunday to give, and that's it. So really, if something stirred your heart, we really want you to follow through with that. Obviously, those QR codes, you can ask more about those down there. And so we will do our reveal October 10th. Let me just say a couple things. We have our trunk or treat event coming up at the end of October. We're still looking for some people to maybe volunteer to help with that. As our community comes in, we just kind of love on them by handing out candy and just saying we're glad we're doing life with you in this community. Second thing is we need some people who might be interested. If you're not serving presently within the church, we're looking for some people to be some ushers and greeters. So here's the thing. If you don't like people and you don't know how to smile, this is not for you. But if you like people and you like to say, hi, how are you? I'd love to get to know you, then this will be right up your alley. I want to remind you that when people come here and they walk through those doors, a lot of times they can determine whether they want to be a part of a church or not by how they were treated. I've had a lot of friends go to other churches and say, not one person said hi to me. Not one person even came up and noticed I was new. But when we came to your church, wow, they were so friendly. I had like 4 people come up, hey, I don't think I've met you. And that's the kind of church we want to be. Are we perfect at it? We are not. But that's what we don't strive to be. And if you would like to be a part of a team like that, go back to the information desk, guest services in the lobby, ask for Pastor Tom Dutchitall or Pastor Todd Esch. They would love to have you be a part of one of our teams. It would be awesome. Last thing is this. We've been working through verse by verse in the book of Romans. And we just got jumped back into it, right? We were talking about this series called Wrath of God, and now we're going to jump back out for a second because I've been toying with this in my heart and trying to decide. I've been praying what is the right thing, and I can't shake it. So here's what we're going to do. For the next 2 weeks, starting next Sunday, I'm going to take some time, and I'm going to do a 2-week series called God and Government. And we're going to talk about there is so much fear, there's so much anxiety, there's so much frustration and hostility and embarrassment and questions about what is our role as the church and believers? Should the church be involved in politics? And if so, how should they be involved? Some of you are asking, or I've asked some of you, do you intend to vote? Pastor, I'm not voting. I can't vote for either one of those candidates. Is there a stewardship issue there? Should you vote? And how do you determine how to vote? What informs your vote? How do we positively engage in government and politics? Is there a time when a Christian should be willing to disobey the law of the land or even its government that it's a part of? Those are some of the questions we're going to talk about. And so we're going to fast forward a little bit in Romans and get to Romans chapter 13. For those of you who don't know about Romans, pretty much the first 11 chapters is about theology. And here's what is true. Here is the doctrine. Here's what we believe. That's what the Apostle Paul's trying to get people to understand about life and sin and death and hell and heaven and those kinds of things. But then when you get to chapter 12 and on, it's taking these truths and these doctrines and saying, now here's how you apply it to life. When you get to Romans chapter 13, that's what it's talking about, God and government. And so we're going to take a look at that over the next couple of weeks. Just so you know out of the gate, I am not a political pundit. I am not here to voice just one party or over another per se, but I am asking you as your pastor to consider the platforms of both, and we're going to talk about what does that look like. And I know some of you are going to be, hey, wait, isn't there supposed to be a separation of church and state? We'll talk about that too. So I hope you'll come back in the next 2 weeks if that's of interest to you, and if not, then, suffer through it with us anyways, okay? That being said, here's a little primer of the series.
Decide what you want this country to be, what you want to do in the future.
Vote like your whole world depended on it.
Voters should not be forced to go to the polls with their fingers crossed.
They understand what peace demands.
What America needs are leaders to match the greatness of her people.
Campaign appearances are getting closer and closer together as each candidate tries to get in his best shot.
Vote. The stakes are too high for you to stay home.
It's going to get dirtier in these last few days.
No apologies, no regrets. We will not be coerced. We will not tolerate being pushed around.
So next Sunday, hope you'll come back, and we're going to talk about current issues a little bit, okay? Let me pray with you. God, thank you for North Webster Church of God and the people that have gathered here today. And God, in just a little bit, many of us are going to venture down to the other end of this facility, and we're going to pack meals to feed people we'll never meet. But we're going to be an answer to prayer to a mom or a grandma who's praying for her kids and grandkids because food is scarce. And so, Lord, as we pack, may we enjoy the company of other believers, but may you even cause us to pause as we pour rice or vitamins or whatever else into a bag to say, you know what, I'm probably going to have lunch today. And some people don't even know if they will. So God, thank you for allowing me to be here today to help somebody who you love. Help us to be hands and feet of Jesus now, God, I pray. In Jesus' name, amen. Hey, thanks for serving today. If you need to use the restroom, do so, but I would encourage you, if you're packing, to head that way as soon as possible so we can get you in. We're going to pack over 100,000 meals today. Let's do this.